It's good to see you, James. Reaction to
Iowa caucus. Look, you could spend about 10 hours, and that's a rough estimate, going over the media coverage of this. Actually, you could probably do it infinitely because the internet's kind of infinite about these things. But anyway, a few headlines. Bernie Sanders just changed the Democratic Party, according to the New Yorker website. In other words, the fact that essentially the young vote all went to Bernie Sanders has sort of changed the way things function in terms of establishment figures in the party. Meanwhile, Mr. Trump was Cruz-ified, according to the New York Post. I think we can see that there. It's a pretty catchy headline because, of course, Mr. Cruz, I can never quite get that one right. He unexpectedly beat him, which also made him into a dead clown walking, according to the New York Daily News. You can see there editorially that they're not the biggest fan of Mr. Trump. Meanwhile, Hind Amri, she's one of the big Twitter stars from the Arab Spring era when her tweets were broadcast around the world. She's also tweeting about this. I just heard Ted Cruz's first words on his Iowa caucus win. To God goes the glory. Isn't that Republican for Allahu Akbar? Anyway, we probably won't just analyse that now because it would take too long.
It's ironic, but
yes,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's old tweets being dug up and overanalyzed and pointed at and laughed as well. No one remembers who came in second. Oh dear. But I think we'll all remember him. In any case, over on the Democratic side, here are scenes from The Shining making it onto Twitter.
Love that
with Bernie Sanders shocking Hillary, although she probably wasn't that shocked really. But it is a case of she thought she was ahead and now she's maybe not so far ahead, and that's a source of worry. Bernie Sanders, the cult of Bernie Sanders, making his way onto underwear of the ladies, but also, in case anyone is worried, the men as well.
Egalitarian,
so,
good to see.
We can be worried across the board about that particular trend. Meanwhile, the Bernie Sanders wave, which could crash into the establishment. You have images like that. Jon Stewart and many others warning about it over the last number of years. So we perhaps shouldn't be surprised, and we indeed have it. And if you see the statistics in Iowa, 84% of 17 to 29-year-olds voted for him. He clearly has the millennial vote, which, as this meme puts it here, if they turn out, well, then he has a pretty good chance.
It's interesting because he's an old geezer, but still younger people hearing his message.
And actually, I've seen some on French social media saying, well, people say Alain Juppé is too old to appeal to younger voters. I'm not sure he'll have quite the same appeal with younger voters, but certainly Bernie Sanders.
People who say that tend to be journalists who tend to be middle-aged and white and male.
I think if you like somebody's ideas, you'll vote for them.
I think you've probably hit the nail right on the head there, James.
Yes. Now, there is something that I want you to explain to me, Mark, because it's been going around Facebook, various colleagues at France 24. It's a rugby warm-up, and it made it onto the French sports website L'Equipe. And people are sniggering because it's sort of a rugby warm-up that went horribly wrong. So I think we should first of all discover the scene.
This is the rugby club at Causus in southern France, and very often in rugby warm-ups, there is a lot of very macho activity. Now these are two forwards locking heads in order to get used to the possible bumps they might get, and the number one who you saw, they got a little bit too enthusiastic about it. And I think it was attempting to plant a forehead on the other guy's forehead, but missed and got his nose.
So the idea was to get him sort of riled up. And
well, it was, and it's very clear that it was already going too far.
Might it be fair to say that with a broken nose, you're worn down?
I think their front row may have been lacking someone of great import there, having broken the hooker's nose before the start of the game. There we go.
Very tragic stuff. In any case, that has been going quite viral on French social media in the last few days because I think it's just something that people...
well, it's great. With the Six Nations Rugby starting next weekend as well, coming up, France playing Italy, maybe
That's
they'll
right.
be...
Well, we'll hope we won't see scenes
not looking for that kind of warm-up
passion
before the game, Crazy stuff.
Or just wear some sort of, helmet.
Well, it's a tough and compromising game, but that was a ridiculous way to warm up.
And I think a lot of people agree, because it's been going pretty viral.
James, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Mark.
We hope the hooker's nose gets better very soon. Kate, thank you for the business. What did you make of that headbutt?
I think that most women don't warm up like that. I don't know. It seems a particularly male phenomenon, I would point out.
Yeah, I don't see women rugby players warming up
Hockey
that way.
rooms are a much more civilized
I covered the Women's Rugby World Cup. There was none of that going on. A lot of tough tackling.
We're far too sensible for that, Mark.
Yeah. Kate there with the sensible vote. Thank you for watching. Stay with us.